Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
Good morning. I'm glad you could join us on the show. I'm Tayo Salam.
I keep telling you, it's always a delight to have you join us to talk sports. I'm Austin Okon-Akpan. And with a smile on my face, let's go to Dakar, Senegal, where Olympics ticket is in the bag for Team Nigeria. Yes, with all the struggle, the fumbling. Coach Samson Siasia and his team, they have put smiles on the faces of Nigerians by picking a ticket to next year's Olympics. Now, can they go on to win the CAF Under-23 African Cup of Nations? We can't be too greedy to ask for that.
That's not good. I think they can do that. And someone else who is also making wave in Nigeria happens to be Nigeria's number 27 seed, talking about Christian Paul. He is the only man remaining in the Governor's Cup. He is in the quarterfinals, which starts today.
Congratulations to Christian Paul, flying Nigeria's flag in the Governor's Cup in the quarterfinals. Good luck to him as he faces the South African for a place in the semis. Also on the show today, Arsenal and Chelsea both made London proud on match day 6 of the UEFA Champions League by reaching the round of 16 against all odds.
That's what it is.
For Arsenal, they had to go to Greece. They needed 2 clear goals. They got 3 goals. For Chelsea, they had to get a draw against Porto at Stamford Bridge. They got a convincing 2-0 win.
Yeah.
So both sides definitely made London proud, as well as England by extension. Because imagine if both sides are actually, crashed out. Would have been Manchester City alone representing the Premier League in the Champions League round of 16. That would have been bad for the image of football in that country.
Very bad.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, we need at this point to, give massive commendation to Arsene Wenger and his Arsenal team. I mean, it's not easy to go all the way to Olympiacos with such pressure on your team. You get it done. He says it's arguably the best game of his career. He needed 2 goals and then he got 3. And Olivier Giroud stepped up big time.
And scored a hat-trick for them. And check Arsenal, if you check December, usually in our Champions League fixtures, usually winning is not there. And of course, for them to go to Greece winning for the first time and for the 16th time, in a row, Arsenal making it to the Champions League last 16. So you will say, as a Wenger, he may not just be winning the trophies, but sometimes when it comes to history, I think he's the man to actually look out for, because for him, it's really the best thing to happen to him.
He likes the records, and for Jose, maybe this might just be the springboard to start getting things right in the league.
Yeah, Austin, I said in my intro, I said against all odds, Chelsea managed to qualify. Not because Chelsea haven't been doing
really
well
managed to qualify? Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to go. They've been doing well in the Champions
League. But it's the league that is a problem.
But still, you don't really know what to expect from Chelsea this time around. They should just turn up and stink up the old place.
When you're terrible in the league, it can rub off.
It can. Yeah. So that was why we left that little bit of space for Chelsea stutter, but they rose to the occasion. Was a very convincing win against Porto.
I mean, what the London clubs did.
You guys aren't generous at all. I think give it to Jose Mourinho. I mean, when it comes to the Champions League, I didn't really expect them to lose this game against FC Porto. Start with your playing at home, and you needed just a draw. I think it's a game that I felt they could
Porto,
have won.
That was impressive when they played Chelsea in Portugal.
Yes.
And then coming back on the bounds of that victory that we can come and upset these guys. I mean, if you're FC Porto, the last game of Chelsea you monitor will be the one against Bournemouth.
And you were like, okay,
and then we can beat these guys. You could take that confidence and go. So, I mean, Jose Mourinho and his team, they did slap a lot of pundits last night. Yes, everyone was waiting. Oh, Chelsea will keep struggling. Chelsea will same with Arsenal.
Not the Champions League.
Pundits got it all wrong. Imagine the odds, and then, as you said, against all odds, they came out.
Congrats.
And they did a big
great escape
this morning. We love it when you get involved talking sports with us. And today on the show, good news for Team Nigeria at the CAF Under-23 Championship. You can talk to us. Our email address is sportsthismorning@channelstv.com. And on Facebook, we're channels-sports. On Twitter, we're channels_sports. I keep telling you, verified Twitter handle. We're very active there, and we just talk sports. Join the conversation this morning. We want you to, talk to us with the hashtag CAF Under-23. Coach Samson Siasia and his team, they were doing so poorly. They will score, they will concede. But when they needed to pick a ticket to Rio, they did it. I don't care how they did it. They just got the ticket to Rio. We'll also talk about weightlifting in Nigeria. We have a national, continental, and Commonwealth champion with us. You want to know who she is? Just stick around with us. We'll tell you. And then for the Governor's Cup, we told you just one more survivor from Team Nigeria. Tayo Salam will. We love to see how far Christian Paul will go at the competition. We'll talk about that. And then hashtag Champions League. You're already making it rain with messages for the Champions League. Arsenal and Chelsea fans, let's give you some attention this morning. Talk to us after Arsenal and Chelsea gave London some pride. What do you think? Think they can make it all the way? Let's see right here on Sports this morning. Okay. And in all of it, if you look at all of what we're looking at this morning, key issues, very key. And I want to come to Christian Paul. It's particularly going to look difficult for him with some pressure. But I mean, it should stand tall now and say quarterfinal. If I win one more, it's semis. And if I lose in the semis, that's me missing out of the final. That should motivate him.
Yeah, Cecilia, no surprises for me, okay? Yeah, when the competition started, I really didn't expect the Nigerian players to go really far. So for Christian Paul to have gotten to the semis,
to the quarterfinals,
you know, beating the lad from Uganda, Duncan Mugabe, that was very impressive for me. And now he's flying Nigeria's flag, a lot of pressure on his young shoulders, you know, to deliver that semi-final ticket for Nigeria. But for me, I don't know, really, it's going to be very tough for him to go into the next round. Yeah,
it will be tough because if you check, you know, even before the Governor's Cup started, you know, he talked about the fact that his target is actually quarterfinals. If he can get to quarterfinals, he'll be very happy because the Tennis Federation have promised them that anyone who gets to that quarterfinals, he or she can get to. I mean, they can sponsor them for different international circuits across the world. So that was actually enough motivation for most of them, for Christian Paul to have been able to get that straight set victory, 6-4, 6-4 against Duncan Mugabe of Uganda. And he's going to be facing the third seed for this tournament, talking about Lloyd Harris, a South African, who was able to defeat David Pearl 6-4, 3-6, 6-3. Now, it took him a while for him to do this, so I hope Christian Paul will be able to beat the South African. And for Pere Riba, he defeated Sylvester Emmanuel, the guy we're actually hailing after he defeated Anderson Reed, you know, 6-2, 6. That was a straight set. And for Anta Van Derwin, it was Thomas Sutu. He's out 6-1, 6-2. Wow, that was a whitewash. And of course, and in Sektic, if you check the people they were actually facing, we talked about it and all that. That's what the number one seed
champions
there, beating Albert Bickham 6-1, 6-love. So I mean, the rating is definitely it's not close. Now for the female, I mean, the result is really not too good. Eureka Kerry beating exactly number 8 seed for the tournament, Ronke Akimbade, 6-love, 6 of course, Tessa of France defeating Sareme Arunde 6-1, 6-love.
Wow.
So no female right now in the quarterfinals, but we have just
one male.
I mean, Christian Paul.
I just want to go back to what the NCF, what they've said in terms of supporting our Nigerian tennis players. For Christian Paul, it's going to get that support now because he's been able to prove and, you know, reach that particular target. And you know, there's no freebie in professional sports. You've got to prove you are the real deal before you can get the backing and the required support. So good luck to Christian Paul in his semi-final.
You know what? Match. And in doing this, I'm just going to look right into the eyes of the viewers and say, since it's just Christian Paul we have right there at the Governor's Cup, we need to give him some support. We don't like those empty seats right there at the venue. If you have some time and you love tennis, you have some leisure to use, go right there and root for the Nigerian Christian Paul. Sole survivor is in the quarterfinals. I don't want to come here tomorrow and then we start saying, oh, I don't like those results I'm seeing. But it's good. It's good that they're getting this exposure, that they're being beaten. When you fall, you will see the need to rise.
Surely. It's important. And for them, for Nigerian players in particular, they need to be playing competitions. Next week, there's the Futures 2 as well. Another opportunity for them, you know, to mix it up with the very best tennis players at this level. Like I keep saying, it's the ITF Pro Circuit. It's just an entry, you know, that's the entry level to professional male and female tennis. So we're a long way from the ATP status.
But the thing is, once they start gathering the ATP points that they can in this particular tournament,
they're getting ITF points
exactly.
Now. That's how they get it.
So it's really cool for them.
Cool
so
for them,
if you can get that ATP points, I mean, because that's why most of the players who come in here, that's what they're trying to do. Now, when I spoke to Alexandra Riley from the USA, she says she's ranked around 800 and something in the world right now. She knows that with time, you know, attending this tournament, frequently, you can actually get as much as 500 and from the top 500 in the world.
Yeah,
so
but
it's more like a target, and which is really cool for most of them.
The problem for Nigeria is that these guys, where do they go after these particular features?
Christian Paul was talking about that. I think with what the NTF has said, you know, that if they can,
been saying this forever.
Because they feel they've not been able to make it to that stage that they can actually feel, okay, this player is good enough to actually go for an internet, but you don't have to wait.
But you see, when I stay around some of these athletes and hear their stories, I feel for them. I start saying to myself, Austin, just stay the sports journalist. I don't become an athlete whatsoever. They tell you things as when Egyptians want to go for a tournament, the table tennis team, for instance, they keep them for like 1 month. As they're practicing, they're also playing with their psychology. They're telling them you're the best in the world. When you go, you need to beat this person to get immediate talk to you. We just see our athletes, they're going to the competition tomorrow. Just go and perform magic and let's talk about you. We don't even want to go into the aspect of welfare. You don't want to go into the aspect of bonuses.
Okay.
Just, you know you are representing us, so that's what they tell them. Just go and impress. It goes beyond that because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing your country.
Your country, of course. You're
doing
that
well
flag
for development of the sport. Just see tennis, for instance. And now you find out talking about tennis. Tennis has been busy in the last 2 months. What do they need to do? They need to sustain that momentum. If these guys that have not done well now at this Governor's Cup, play another competition in January, play another one in February.
They get better.
You go back and look at your scorecard. You tell yourself, come on, it's not about competitions anymore. I'm not just improving, so I need to work on self-improvement. That's a lot of work to do for the NTF.
Sure,
definitely.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Austin.
Let's just listen to Sani Daniso talking about how they intend to actually develop tennis in Nigeria.
We in the Tennis Federation have been bringing, if you like, the enabling environment, which is the best we can do, but it takes all the stakeholders to come together. I'm talking of the parents, tennis parents, I'm talking of the sponsors, I'm talking of the coaches, I'm talking to players themselves, because players must display seriousness. No sponsor wants to attribute himself or herself with a failure, so you must show seriousness both on court and off court, so that you will be an ambassador. And then for you to be at the top ranking, you must be consistent in going to key tournaments, not just any tournament. Tournaments that are ranked so that you pick up points that will take you up within African continent and also within Europe. So that is what we are working. But this year, we have come together with the organizers to say that any of the Nigerian player that gets to the highest point, even if it's quarterfinal, we will now prepare him for the next tournament. You don't prepare for this kind of tournament within 1 year even, but we will try to prepare him by giving him opportunity to attend to more tournaments within the continent, more tournaments within Europe, so that he will garner some points that will bring him up. So that we have already agreed and will implement.